Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today, that's the end of Skeleton Crew, everybody. We've just had the finale. It's all wrapped up. Lots of things happened. We've got a good deck here. Let's just get into it. We've got Captain Catherine Kneen. Hello, Captain Kneen.
George lives.
We've got Captain Matthew Mohl. Hello, Captain Matthew Mohl.
I have promoted myself to Commodore Matthew Mohl tonight.
Oh, have we? Okay, and then we've got Captain Matthew Turbo Thurbon. Hello, Captain Turbo.
Hello, did you see those turbo lasers? Chekhov's turbo laser.
Yep.
Turbos for the win. Turbos all around. Here we are. Before we go any further, actually, we're just going to quick little shout out to friend of the show, Andy Campbell, who just had his wife, Steph, who's both been on the pod before, had a baby boy. So another little Star Wars fan in the universe.
Yay!
So hello
Congrats.
to you guys. I'm sure you're not listening to podcasts right now. Why would you be? But
Why wouldn't you be?
There is a lot of sitting around when you have a newborn baby, so maybe you will. But congratulations, guys. But that's it. Skeleton Crew episode 8 is out, Catherine, and it is called
The Real Good Guys.
I sat there and went, Catherine, you're going to remember the title. The Real Good Guys, The Real Good Guys. Yes, you can remember that. It's locked in. You ask blank. Oh.
That's okay. Do you want me to start over? We'll push on.
That's right.
We'll push on. And running Tom this week, Mohl.
40 minutes and 25 seconds. Don't roll your eyes, Turbo. He cringes when he listens, so I can see the reaction firsthand when he's on the pod now.
That's not too bad for a finale. That's not the longest episode, though, is it?
Of the series? No, I think 5 or
There
6.
was a 48 in there.
There's a long one in the
Spa
middle.
Planet, the longest
Yeah.
one?
I think the first one was because that keeps coming up on my Disney Plus as, watch this because it's saying I haven't finished it.
Oh, right,
watched
because
it
you just sort
twice.
of turned it off
Yeah.
before the end of the thing. Yeah, so it certainly packed a lot into a not a short episode, but shortish episode. I think we got pretty satisfied finale to all this sort of thing. I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to just recap this thing? Do we want to talk about how
recap,
we're feeling?
And then the questions that it left unanswered for season 2, Josh, maybe?
Yeah, I
There's
feel
a lot of unanswered questions and
there were
what ifs and what should have beens and what's left and what could happen and what's happened to happen.
It's probably too early for a season wrap up. Maybe next week. You can
Yeah,
that,
we'll do the
or week
season wrap up
after,
next week or the week after. But we'll try and focus on the finale here because that's what we're here for. But so we basically just pick up exactly where we left off, where Jod's on the platform. The parents are down there at the Mint. He's got the lightsaber out. And the curious thing was that he was basically passing himself off as a Jedi rather than sort of threatening. Like that was kind of his vibes. It was actually the lightsaber was out to sort of show off rather than to be like, I'm going to cut your heads off.
Well, I think the last episode it was like, I'm evil. And then they flipped it this the stars like, I'm good.
Well, he basically called himself a Jedi emissary. I don't know if that was in the first scene, but yeah.
Yeah. He sort of...
And he calls himself, after all these names he's got, he calls himself Jod Nanarwood again to the parents. So
Not even a fake
that's his
name.
emissary name.
That's his Jedi name.
That's his Jedi name. Okay.
Well, yeah,
I'll let you
we'll get
talk
to
about that later,
Yeah.
Mohl. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an homage to the letter J, I think.
So yeah, he does. Now that's
Sydney
that's
Thunder.
not dramatic effect right there. That's actually storms coming through in Sydney right now. We should touch on it. We're not doing a video podcast of this, but Matt Mohl is drenched from head to toe, like he swam here to be at this podcast tonight because he got caught in the rain.
I was so nervous the whole episode. I've been schwitzing the whole time. No, I got absolute. I'm a drowned, soggy water rat at the moment. Yes, the dedication to do the podcast meant full floods.
Can you try and time your, to drop something dramatic when you know that the lightning and the thunder is going to come? And then
I'll drop my Jedi Master reveal.
yeah, if you
later
could do
on.
that right when the thing comes, we'll wait. We'll wait for that.
All right, I'll do my best.
So he does. So he basically just leans into it and says, "Yep, I'm the emissary, and I'm here to make a collection, parents. So you can basically take your kids home, but I'm going to keep an eye on them." So I don't know, Catherine. Did you feel like I thought he was just going to sort of just like, you stay there, nobody move, and I'm just going to take the treasure. But he was basically like, "Hey, if I keep this ruse up, there'll be less questions."
Yeah, because the far smarter play to keep the ruse up, for the droids and all of that, so that he can communicate with his ship, do all of that. Because what was his plan? Yes, he wanted to load up his ships and all of that and take it out. But honestly, he probably thought, hang on, this is endless. I can't actually take it all away. I can come back every few months and take some money. If I can keep pretending I'm the emissary, I can keep this up for the indefinite future.
Did he get greedy?
He
though?
seems to be.
Yeah, you go, Turbo.
I was going to say, he seems to be a master of improv. So he's just going along with what the security droids say about the supervisor, and he said, "Yeah, supervisor," and he's really good at improv. So
Bit of theatre sports background, you reckon, Turbo?
Background, yeah.
Yes, and
Yep.
It's like, now give me one of the kids yell out a situation, yell out anything. Banana, okay, and driving a car with a banana, okay. Well, look a little bit something like this. Did he get greedy, Mohl? Because he could have just loaded that Onyx Cinder up with all the treasure he could handle. He probably would have had more credits he could ever spend and rack off. Even ditch his crew and just live a life of luxury and come back later on. Like did he need to keep
But
coming
the ship
back?
was locked, though. So how was he going to unlock the ship? That's the other question.
Which ship was locked?
The Onyx Cinder was locked in position. We'll talk about that later, but yeah.
Oh yeah, but that was only because he did that. But that was after he had to kill the. At the time.
no, that happened last week when
Happened
they
last week.
landed. It locked in.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, he could have just. I mean, they already believed him. He could have just said, "All right, I'm taking my stuff," and now, because
Yeah.
as far as they know, they're like, "Oh, you're just here for a pickup. You'll fill that ship up and you'll go." Like he could have just filled the ship up and gone and racked off on the pirates, got into hyperspace, and lived a life of luxury. Tried to spend those credits in a lifetime.
These security droids are a bit dodgy. There were no ID checks or
They're
anything.
dumb. It's just-
Where's their protocol? Come on.
Well, they never thought anyone would get past the what's that? The planetary defense.
yeah, I guess if you come through the barrier and you've got on the ship and you seem to know about the vault, that seems to be all we need to know.
Don't worry about the person on the ship. Just if the ship gets through, all clear.
Yeah. So it does make you wonder how close that captain got. So that was, I mean, we never really
Who
got
is
any
the
more info about
captain?
the captain. They went to a lot of trouble to hide who he was without actually, there was no reveal. I was kind of waiting for the big reveal and nothing happened.
I don't think it matters, really.
I mean, it doesn't, but it's
doesn't.
just weird that they went to the trouble of hiding his face, where it could have just really have literally been
Glory and Shard.
Yeah. It could have been anybody, but it could have been any sort
Moss
of general
Nass.
creature. Yeah, it could have just been a Moss Nass or anything, and it just sort of. But I know maybe they're holding something in the chamber for what they want to do. But I did like you sort of with the kids, and they're going, oh, with the kids in trouble, and it's just like. They were actually like these little turds were a pain in my side, and you should
These
take them home
meddling
and keep
kids.
an eye on them. The damn meddling kids, yeah. I don't know. I sort of just thought he could have just loaded up the ship and gone, and that would have been it. But he did get greedy, and to his credit, he wanted to bring his mates in as well. He'd made
Not just
promises.
bring him in, invade the planet. Full invasion.
Again, it's that whole planet. It's just one town kind of thing. But I guess you don't
Wipe them out.
go where
All of them.
go where the treasure is. So yeah, but then Fern looks like she's gonna squeal or she ain't gonna play ball. So he's basically goes, hey, why don't you come with me with your mum and we'll go pay the supervisor a little bit of a visit.
Yeah. Having her and her mum as a hostage also tries to ensure the other kids' silence as well as being watched and recorded. Having Fern as a hostage means that they're going to want to try to obey because they don't want to endanger her.
Yeah, exactly. It was a smart move. He actually, all things considered, he played this pretty well, hadn't he, Turbo? Really, for a guy like you said who's kind of improvising as he goes along.
Yeah, he's a man of the streets. He's been around. He knows how to swindle people.
Let's face it, he landed on the planet and all the droids said, "Thank God you're here."
Yeah. He walked through the door. Yeah. And he's like, "Yes, I'm here for the treasure and all this."
That's an Australian TV reference for those who.
I think they've had that all over the world though. That show.
Oh, have they?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's been one of those like sold to many countries. I don't know how many countries it's still running in, but I think for a while it was in a lot of countries.
Yeah, the original one was, and then they've rebooted it last couple of years. So, and I think clips are making it out because, there's so many people on that who've been on Taskmaster. So people who like Taskmaster, I think, see these clips, and then might, investigate and watch.
There you go.
Yeah,
We're always happy to
if
plug
they
your
can.
things. Mohl just disappeared in a lightning flash. So, can you hear us, Mohl?
I hope so.
Oh, he
Matey.
is here. Sometimes when he
Yes.
disappears, he can't hear. Sometimes we could try and do these things discreetly over chat while we're recording. But let's just admit it. A big bolt of lightning hit Back to the Future style, hit Mohl's house.
1.21
He
gigawatts.
just went back in time, and he's back again. And I don't know, he invested in Bitcoin. All of a sudden, he's got a really bigger house behind him somehow. It's like, that's the only thing I did. I just went back and bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin 20 years ago.
Didn't think to come back with a dry shirt, but anyway.
I wanted to ask you, Mohl, because basically when the kids all get shuffled off home, Wim's dad cooks him up a delicious microwave TV dinner.
Space lasagna.
Lasagna.
Home cooked meal, and I'm just like, really?
That's
God,
the
this
worst
is
looking meal I've ever seen in
deadbeat
Star Wars.
Dad, I know this is like a
Lowly dad meals for one.
It looks like the plastic is melting or something in that microwave or whatever it was.
It looks like it was just like curdling over, and then there's like, this is so good.
It kind of had that little
like,
effect, like the Ray bread, where it kind of looked like it sort of, grew to
but
some.
that Ray bread looked good, and like it actually, puffed into something delicious. Or the pizza in Back to the Future too, like looked edible. This looked like he'd left the plastic on top, and it was sort of melting, and it was just sludge.
Just piping hot. First meal. I just kind of like sitting
I
there
mean, what
going,
good is all those credits if you can't have nice
Have a
food?
decent meal,
That's
I know.
ridiculous.
well, that's the thing.
Trevor, are you wearing the Ignite the Brown t-shirt? You are.
Scruffy. No, scruffy looking.
Represent.
Yeah, the brown scruffy shirt.
He's just going,
Yeah,
well,
that's
that's a
right.
nice dry looking shirt you're wearing there, Turbo.
I didn't get the memo.
I don't know. It was a little bit sad there, Catherine, wasn't it? Because they just sort of quickly slotted back into domestic life. Dad just was sort of just like, yes, good meal here. You'll do your test tomorrow.
Yep. A droid's looking from a creepily,
I know, just like awkwardly standing there.
not like discreetly in a corner away. No, like 2 meters away.
It's just really weird because I don't know about you guys, at our house, we always have like a radio in the background. So our house never really, like our kitchen always has music sort of playing at a lower level. So I always find it slightly unnerving when you go into a house and it's just sort of silent. That was particularly unnerving where they were just sort of, like you said, sitting over their sort of quiet microwaved lasagna. Wim's obviously like, this shall not stand. How can I make this obvious to you, Dad? And he wasn't getting it, was he, Turbo? Like, he even kind of like tried to speak in code.
Yeah, I think he said something like there are certain people out there to ruin the galaxy or something, or ruin the great
home.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And he didn't get the picture. He was oblivious. He was
No.
back to good old. What is his name?
You're
Wendell?
back now. Everything's back to normal. I'm
Mr.
not
Wendell.
Mr.
Back to
Wendell, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a bit Mr. Wendell.
I'm on fire.
A bit of Arrested Development. But it was quite curious because he actually was, because when he was talking about, like he got off, he saw some worlds and blah, blah, blah. The dad was a bit like, hey, you don't think I wanted to do that? Like, it was kind of like, it's clear that they did know that they were sort of stuck there and there was a bigger world. We sort of wondered about whether they even knew that there was anything else out there. But it seemed like he Oh my god!
What you cost you?
Yeah, I saw the flash and I started counting. That's quite close.
God, I wish we were recording this now. Like, we don't do video podcasts. If we'd had one where Mohl gets electrocuted live on air, shit, we get 1 million views.
I'm not going to do my golf swing during this live story.
Is it too late to switch this? Should we ditch this whole episode and restart it again in video mode just in case Matt gets electrocuted on air?
I love how the idea of Mohl's death snippets is.
I don't know which to die, but a bit of like you know, that'd be pretty good.
Watch Mohl die live on the
air. So basically, he's trying to say, you know, come on, somebody isn't who they're supposed to be and isn't a great bloke, and you know, and like you said, Mr. Wendell is not having it. So effectively, you know, we don't get very far, but Wim doesn't really give up. He's sort of hanging in there. But then do we go back to the spire then with Fern and John?
No, Wim was on the walkie-talkie with Neil.
Oh yeah, Neil's back in the bath.
Yeah, and but then Wim gets caught by one of the safety droids talking on the walkie-talkie, and he said, who are you talking to? And then he starts talking to his toys and playing with his own toys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I always just think of Spaceballs, you know, in the bit where he's just like, oh, your helmet is so big. Oh, no, Richard.
That's exactly it. I think that was a tribute.
You know, Spaceballs tribute in there. We were talking about Spaceballs the other day, that they said that they were making another Spaceballs movie, apparently, and hoping that it was called, you know, Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money, because that was, you know, the joke in the first one that they do. But then I said they should just actually have Spaceballs Episode 7 and just call it that and just imply that there were 6 other Spaceballs movies that came out we just haven't seen yet. So anyway, Spaceballs talk. But yeah, so Fern and her mum are up in the tower with Jod. My kids got pretty freaked with Jod a few times, and it really seemed to be the lightsaber to the face kind of stuff, Catherine. A couple of times Olive was a bit like, this is getting a little too intense for me here. Mohl
I'm
as
going to
well.
put my hand up on this just while we talk about the tower.
We'll just lean into your mic. There you go. Yeah,
Thank you. So I'm politely putting it on my hand. Did we not get some sort of Palpatine's tower vibes from the spire?
Oh, when it opened the doors, it looked a lot.
But also the Death. It was a nod to the little Palpatine chamber on the Death Star too. It was very shaped the same to his little Palpatine chamber.
Yeah, a lot of towers sort of look like that. Like, I see what you.
The entrance, when they came up in the lift and the thing opened and you kind of had the room, that felt that I got that vibe too, Matt. So don't worry, I was there too, Mohl.
Oh, I won't worry.
Yeah, the turbo lift ride up with Fern and Fern's mum. Her mum going, oh, you know, you're so young to meet the supervisor, and she just keeps checking your clothing and her posture incredibly straight to make sure she's ready for the supervisor. But the looks between Fern and Jod behind her back, classic. And again, Fern still trying to drop the hint.
Yeah,
things are not right.
They seem like, come on, Mum, like meet me halfway here, please.
Pick up the vibe, will you, adults? Come on!
Don't you think it's a little bit weird? Look how
just
grubby
read the room, you know.
Read the room. And then they go in and they meet the supervisor, and it's the Frybot 3000, effectively. So no man behind the curtain, no pirate captain, no Jedi Knight Mohl. Just a big red eye in a big machine.
It's like the HAL 9000 with an English accent.
It did have a HAL 9000 vibe, yes.
It did, yes.
I mean, it makes sense on paper, especially if it's been going for hundreds of years, that it's a droid running things, because obviously it's not like they have to replace them when they get old and die and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, you know, Fern's mum didn't seem particularly perturbed. She's just like, yeah, it's a droid. Supervisor's a droid, like duh. And
Jod walking in, you wiping the dust and debris, sort of going, oh, who's operating this? How long's it been since someone's been up here? So he's sort of going, oh, yeah, this is weird, and the supervisor saying, the last communication we had from the Republic was that the Jedi
We're a bunch of
Right,
dirty
enemy.
traitors.
Traitors.
traitors. So
Yes.
some interesting things there, and that they are getting communications from the Republic,
Yep.
but
But that was the
haven't-
last one.
Yeah, that was the last one. They hadn't received anything since. You know, was it directed at them, or was it just this sort of
General.
galaxy-wide? Yeah,
I feel like maybe it's one of those things where Atten had been lost for whatever, they'd lost contact with the planet at some point. It's no longer required, surplus to requirements, but when the Palpatine Republic came out and said, we're going to pump Jedi as our traitors on every channel to every planet and get the word out to everybody rather than a bunch of, it's like the alert on your phone or something like that kind of thing. It's basically like we tell everybody in the galaxy that the Jedi are a bunch of dirty traitors and look out for them, basically, even though all the official business stuff that they would probably been getting previously had stopped a while earlier.
But it also shows, sorry, mate, the droids, like, the security droids are dumb and pretty useless, but this supervisor droid has a enhanced AI element to it. I mean, it could actually not outsmart Jod, but pick up on the ruse and actually then let him walk himself into a trap.
Yeah, and he knew
Whilst
who
alerting
they
the
were
other
too.
droids.
Like he was like, "Oh, it's you, Supervisor Mummy, and your daughter Fern," and like he's basically
The
like,
other one.
but he's got like
And there was
the
a-
facial recognition. Like he knows everybody what their movements are, what they're up to.
There was another Emperor callback. The supervisor actually said, "I've been watching over you and your daughter with great interest." Did you hear that one?
Oh. So there might be some little things
Creepy.
sprinkled around in this
Creepy, yeah.
thing.
Pedo supervisor.
Ugh. I want to cut that out. So yeah, that was the big reveal. The supervisor was a great big Stephen Fry voiced robot, and when Jod gets rolled, he's just kind of like, "Well, you're either lying about being a Jedi Knight or you're lying about being the emissary. So which one is it?" He basically just gets his lightsaber and sticks it in the eye of the droid and shorts the droid out and shorts the planet out, Mohl.
But wasn't that reminiscent of Qui-Gon Jinn Episode 1,
In the door.
They're still coming through! Like, he was literally...
The droid echoes.
Dun, 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 dun. There was a lot of good callbacks in this episode.
And that that's all it took. It was very, and then
soggy thumbs up.
the battle droids, Turbo. They're all these droids are a bit like the battle droids. They just the central hub goes down. They all burr.
Yeah, central hub. Yeah,
The
central command
deactivation,
center. Yeah, same vibe. That is their failure.
Yeah,
It should be distributed control. It should be smarter than that.
they need some good networking people, Turbo.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, they learnt from that. Yeah, in the other movies, they were.
Oh yeah, that's
not.
true. They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
This is old tech
Yeah.
though. They've still got the old whatever year tech, which is still pretty good for the day. Would have been probably cutting edge back in the day, but so the whole
goes out everywhere.
planet
It's
goes out everywhere. Yep. So all the
so
droids power
badly
down.
designed, this place.
Yeah, single point of failure. Come on.
All those trams and all those light public transport things, Catherine. You've been talking them up. You're like, oh man, all it took was a little bit of a droid to go down the whole.
Yeah, but no one
operation.
ever gets to go up to the Emperor's chambers ever, so,
Yeah, no, it's true, but it's a good plot device to sort of to up the stakes and take the droids out of the equation. And I did like that. Wim sees that the power's gone down, and runs in and basically just kicks the droid over. He runs up to Mr. Wendell. He's just like, look at this. He just sort of knocks the droid over.
You can see, like, the character development based on, like, the journey and, like, the confidence levels in the kids. Like, at the beginning in Episode 1, they wouldn't have even dared, attempt anything like this. And having, been on the last 7 episodes to where they are now, they've grown in front of our very eyes, these little boys.
Well, they were still in
And
adventure mode.
Elephant boy.
Like, they were still in adventure mode. That's what you know what I mean? Like, even though they got home, you have that bit where he's eating the bad lasagna, that he's still like, oh no, we've got to get Fern. Like, this isn't over. Like, this adventure is still going on. Like, the parents are kind of, as far as they're concerned, they're like, you're back. Go have your bath, have your bad lasagna. And they're like, no, man, this is still going. We're still on this adventure.
Can I ask a quick question to Catherine?
Yep.
Baby elephant boys, did your heart melt?
They are very cute. And Neil in another bubble bath. Thank you. Thank you, Lucasfilm. You know what we want.
Put it on a calendar. Neil in different, bubble bath.
So Baby Yoda or Baby Neil?
See, the baby Neils are still so new and cute. And they have overalls. Like, come on.
I think I'm preferring Neil over Grogu. Because Neil's got a little bit more personality.
Grogu just wears a sack.
He wears a sack. He's got the Force, so he's kind of, he doesn't really have to rely on anything else.
You've likened him to luggage.
Yeah, I have numerous times. Yeah, it's true, actually. So, yeah, the power goes out. The kids go, right, we got to go save Fern here. And basically at the same time as well, Jod's threatened to chop Fern's head off if his mum doesn't bring the ship in. And of course,
still not a deal breaker for Catherine for some reason.
But yeah, he does hit the blow up the barrier button to bring the controls up, which comes into play later on. But you got to have that.
That's a very Star Wars, but also kids movie trope of just having one big giant lever or button that will do everything.
Yeah,
I
some
really
sort of override.
The control had to delete the planet.
the blue screen of death.
Yeah.
Don't pull this lever. Don't press that button.
Yeah.
all the tropes they use them well.
Well, leading on to that, the trope city, which was just done beautifully, and it was just the joy in me was kids on bikes. They got on those, as soon as they found the power was out, they got on those hover bikes, and I was just like, oh man, this is... I think when we talked about what this show could be, and they were saying Amblin, and you always go back kids on bikes, it was just...
It was Amblin versus Return of the Jedi. It was skiffs versus speeders.
Yeah, well, the pirates had gotten in, and they were basically,
Mohl's mate was back.
There was sort of the weird reference that I had when the pirates turned up, and they were kind of like, yeah, and they're coming down on the street and started to take over. I kept thinking of the He-Man movie. Have you seen the He-Man movie where they kind of... Skeletor shows up, and it's because it's all shot in LA because they've got no money, and he's just kind of like
Lundgren one.
Yeah, he's just kind of parading down the street with down the main suburban street. That's what it felt like. The Masters of the Universe movie. But yeah, we did get the kids on bikes, and it was wonderful.
With kids on bikes, there was another sort of callback to a lot of famous movies that I don't know if you know. There's I think it's the LA River. I think it's called the 6th Street Bridge. And it's in a lot of famous movies,
Terminator 2
like Grease, Terminator 2, all those sort of car chase scenes through the empty river. Or it's similar
the
vibes I got from that one.
Isn't it? Yeah,
yeah, but it's actually the river. But LA's got no water, so the river doesn't flow.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
Did anybody else think that when they made that jump, they were going to like they were going to have the side shot with them going? I was genuinely surprised that when they did that jump in the air that they didn't they kind of did an overshot. Catherine, I thought they were going to be in front of the moon and they were going to.
Well, there was a single moon at the planet at the end, so yeah, you're right.
They held their they showed
at the end.
They showed restraint.
They have a little
But when Mr. Wendell got excited, he stole that punk kid's hover bike.
Mr. Wendell trying to fix the car, refusing to accept that because the power's off, the car won't work.
Bloody electric cars, mate. Tell you what, they're a bloody menace. Keep them off our roads.
Andy Bell can attest to that, I
think. Did we all notice the hidden Mickey when he was trying to fix the car? The 3 circles, anyway.
Oh, really? Let's go back on.
Nope.
Yep. But yeah, so if Wynn's like, oh, nah, the hover bikes work. They come by, pick him up, they go off. Mr. Wendell goes and takes the bike off the Tim Chalamet-looking kid.
There was a great shot just before that when he's in the car and Wim runs past and then he just sort of goes behind. You can see him just sort of zoom past behind the back of his head. But yeah, he does. He takes it from the kid that was making fun of Fern and KB in the first episode. Is it? That's who it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The American Graffiti callback.
Ah, that's right. And that was just great. So there was just this awesome chase on the little hover bikes. KB leading the front. And your boy Mohl, Mr. Pirate, he was he was loving it. He's just like, "Rah, let's
Front
pirate
and
it up."
center.
Round them up.
This one's for Mohl.
He's just like, this one's for you, buddy.
Did he survive? Did he survive another pirate meltdown?
Oh, I don't know. I have to check the game tape.
Or do they all get on the ship just to die?
I don't know. We'll have to have a think about. I have to go back and check. I don't think they all died. It kind of fell in the water. Like, I know it blew up a bit, but I don't.
So back a bit, when the pirate ship was landing, I also got Close Encounters vibes. All the lighting and everything. It looked like the mothership.
Independence Day vibes, yeah.
Yeah.
No, come on, Close Encounters, the original.
I'm not that old. I haven't seen it.
It looked very cool though, didn't it? Like, just sort of coming down the main drag and everybody just sort of coming out of their houses looking up and.
Yeah.
And while that's all kind of going on, they're going to we've got to get Fern, but also we're going to get back to our ship. We're going to fly the ship out of the atmosphere, and we're going to get a message to Kim, the owl lady, and bring in the real good guys, Catherine. That's what it's called.
The real good guys, the X-Wings. But I did love how they, came up with the plan all together and talked it through, and they referenced things that had happened, like things they'd learnt along the way. This is how we're going to build our resistance.
Yep. Yeah.
And KB's being awesome.
KB was awesome. Yeah.
And Neil crashed, and then he went off and found the.
Well,
went to
Catherine,
roof of
the Catherine prediction came through. She's like, that big gun is on top of that school still. It's waiting to happen.
Actually, Catherine had quite a few breakthroughs. The Johnny Platten theory didn't come through, but the canon and the Jod backstory.
That Johnny Platten, that took me a second. I got that now. I'm like,
the rat.
That's a pull. Yeah, no, that's a pull. That's a very.
We got the Johnny Platten, KB. Come on, Josh.
That's a very, very local reference.
This is a niche AFL Star Wars spelt out. You've got an Essendon bomber playing on your podcast, and you don't have it. You got to.
Not anymore. I've updated that artwork. It's on the old
okay.
artwork.
Well,
but yeah, that's it. I got sick of those artworks. Retro. Keep getting pulled from.
Oh, that's right. You keep getting copyright infringed.
Yeah, I got into an argument on a Celebration Discord because I was asking whether swag stuff that was created by AI was allowed, and I was kind of going, I'd rather not trade with someone who was using AI to make swag, and then some people wanted to tell me off. And other
controversy.
People said, yes, controversial. Anyway, not related. Anyway, if you gotta get that to do it, you can't do it. So anyway, so KB's like, I'm going to fly this ship into the atmosphere. We're going to get a message to Kim. She's going to bring the X-Wings. We're going to bring this whole operation under. And they get to the ship, and it's all clamped down. Now, I was thinking of in Solo. You remember in Solo when they go to pick up the Falcon and it's clamped down? And Woody Harrelson gets Chewie to help him? No one else remembers
that's
that?
true.
Yeah. I think
because it was Lando's ship.
Jimmy Hebert would remember that more than anyone.
Lando had it impounded. So
that's right, because he's really a deadbeat.
He probably owed some money, so they impounded his ship.
Yeah, that's right. It's probably a little bit different. So they basically go, all right, KB, you stay here. Dad and I will go, and we've got to get the power back to the platform so we can unlock the thing. And then Mr. Wendell has a nice little moment. What does he say? Catherine is like, son, your dad's a something.
Level 7.
Systems coordinator.
That sounds like what your job is, Turbo.
Systems analyst.
I'm a systems engineer, so it's close.
Oh yeah, I'm nothing like that. I'm a systems engineer.
I don't coordinate anything though.
But I could get the power on to some, some platform couplings if I needed to.
Yeah.
So they run off. They get to have a nice little chase up to the tower where Jod's sort of holding court, and they kind of managed to pull it off. They kind of do the fake out Mohl. Like Wim basically is just like, hey man, I called the cops on you already.
With the secret of the crystal skull or something.
Yeah, so they just some weird little because I rewatched it before, and I was because I didn't really follow it the first time, and they were just making up some story to explain how they got. It
was the crystal of the founders. That they said. Yeah,
crystal of the founders.
Did anyone was like when Wim's dad, Mr. Wendell, sort of put his hand out to the lever, right? But it looked like he was about to activate force sensitivity, but then he just got up and punched.
I thought he was breaking his fingers. Like
I thought he was about
you
to
could hear
go,
him like this cracking where I thought that he was going to...
No, Jod was pulling back his fingers using the force.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
I honestly thought...
Like he was almost breaking his fingers backwards away from the lever.
Just before we get to that bit, we'll come back to that. I'm trying to do this in somewhat order. That they get the barrier off. KB gets into the air, and your boy SM33 Mohl lives. He's still there. He just hasn't got his head on, but he helps KB fly out, get the message out, and Catherine, your boy Neil, on the blasters, on the turbo laser.
Yep, giving assistance and then running away when they turn the
gets a few good shots in.
Fair enough.
Can I just say they did try and make it look like they were going to kill at least two of the kids tonight.
Well,
I was like, not Neil. Don't kill Neil. Kill anyone else but Neil. And they're like, not KB. Maybe Wim. Just kill Wim.
Well, they got my girls got quite. KB's their favorite, and when that ship was coming down,
and Fern,
it was. Some very good acting from Fern. She was very convincing, and Sloane was a bit like, and then, but it kind of rolled on, like the plot kind of rolled on. We got all to that sort of push-me-pull stuff. So yeah, KB does get the message out. They get shot down, and they're sort of careening back towards the planet, and they kind of. I did look closely the second time, and it does kind of crash, but it does level out before it crashes.
But there's no explosion. It's just a smoke puff.
Yeah,
it's a dust.
Yeah.
And SM33 does say at the end,
but
it's like, not my best landing. Sorry, I can't do the voice. You do it, Mohl. Not my best landing. There you go, he's got it.
That's it.
That's the one. But yeah, just going back to... So that happens. Jod's just like, that's what you get. That's what you get for, trusting your mates. And they're like, all right, we got to blow up this. We got to blow up this barrier to get the X-Wings in. And then, Mr.
But
Wendell...
It's so interesting that, Jod is saying about, KB's ship coming down, and you can see it on his face. He's just like, this didn't have to happen.
Yeah.
And there was actually a moment when the ship crashed or came down that he was like, he
gets okay. Like, I didn't want to hurt
him, Catherine. Don't try and save him. There's no remorse there.
But he does say, I didn't want to hurt anyone. Like, I that's
what I was going to say. Yeah,
he was looking like, it didn't have to be like this, but he was still going ahead with it.
He did say, I am gonna enslave you, and you're gonna keep. Yeah, and again, he had a whole ship of credits. He could have just left, he could have left with more credits he could probably already spend in his lifetime. But anyway, so I do get where you're coming from, Catherine. But Mr. Wendell. I really wish we'd thought of Mr. Wendell 7 episodes ago. But anyway, here we are. Decides that no one's going to threaten my son, and he gets his fist out and gives Jod a good clock to the face, Turbo, and then there's a bit of a fight for the lever. Yeah,
the lever we talked about before. It was a bit confusing what was going to happen there, whether he was going to break his fingers or... But they got there in the end. I think Farah was shot down by Jod first, I thought. Is that right?
It's a bit weird because he was pulling, he was pushing, and then he was pulling, and then he was pushing, and the lightsaber kind of flew out. Like, I actually thought what was going to happen was that the kids, because Wim picks up the lightsaber, and then Fern comes there, and they're all like pulling for. I thought that he was going to ignite it as Jod pulls it, and it was just going to and just get him.
Yeah,
and that was going to be the end of Jod. And that was kind of how he was going to go down.
Fern's mum was shot, and then
he shot at her, but she was sort of like the tiebreaker because the dad was like distracting him at the lever. Wim was picking up the lightsaber, and but to have another call. I mean, we've had Amblin, we've had Return of the Jedi, we've had Phantom Menace, and then he's like, "Let's go Force Awakens." How much was Wim, Finn? He didn't drop it this time like an absolute goose, and he was seriously like, "Yeah, baby,
he got his little Jedi moment. Yeah.
Confidence with a capital C."
He knows which end the lightsaber comes out of.
Yeah, and he activated. Look, he was pretty cool tonight.
Come on, that's pretty cool.
Actually, you know what? You can't kill Wim either. Who does that leave? That leaves Fern. No, I can't kill Fern. Kill the mum. One of the adults. Any of the adults. These kids can live. These are good kids.
They are good kids. And they get that barrier, they get the magic lever pulled down, Catherine, and the whole place, all those things go boom.
Yeah, it's an odd system, you think, that it's not just bring the barrier down or turn it off. It's I will destroy it. So does this mean it can't be rebuilt, that Atten is now permanently barrierless? It's interesting now thinking about that.
The repercussions, sort of.
Yeah.
But taking a step back, I think we haven't talked about Jod's origin story. There was
so I was wrong.
bit of dialogue there.
I said Jedi washout. He wasn't a Jedi washout. He wasn't a Jedi Padawan. He was, what was he? He was just a street rat who met a Jedi on the run.
Yeah, I think he said he was a starving kid.
You had potential.
Living in a hole in the ground or something like that.
Like literally a hole in the ground.
Back in my day.
Yeah, we lived in holes in the ground.
So,
luxury. I used to dream about living in a hole in the ground.
Exactly.
You can sort of imagine like an Ezra type, street rat living on,
scraps.
Living on scraps, just trying to survive. And he encounters, a Jedi on the run who feels that he has the Force. And
She has the Force.
It was a she, yes.
She felt he had the
as in
Force.
Jod.
Yeah. Oh, yes. this librarian Jedi with a J.
So,
Okay, get on with it, mate.
I'm waiting for the lightning. We need to wait. It's all stopped now.
Just edit it in from before.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm going to do that.
I shall name you Jordan Narwood.
She was on the run for a while, wasn't she? I have read
She
a
was
comic
before she was viciously murdered by Anakin Skywalker /
I think he used the term she was desperate and ragged like me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where you get this theory from. What makes
Maybe
you
she
think
took the chopsticks out of her hair, and that's where she got the
Chopsticks.
raggedness from.
She lost her chopsticks. Okay,
She lost her chopsticks.
good theory, Mohl.
I was due.
So-
Catherine's been.
Looking forward to
Catherine,
the one-shot
CKT.
comic. So the one-shot comic will come out. So yeah, look, perfectly plausible origin. Does explain why you can use the Force a bit. I still prefer my theory that it was a washout, because then he had a little bit more Jedi doctrine put in. But anyway, who knows? I guess she passed some stuff on.
I'm kind of glad it wasn't my stupid theory and other stupid theory didn't come true, which was Saws
Me too.
Bandim, the little kid in the temple.
Oh
Oh,
God! Thank God that didn't happen. God, you wouldn't.
was that just because he was British? Master Skywalker.
Yeah. I thought he survived and
He was front of the queue.
Because he was Anakin Skywalker.
No, the only reason I
He's
thought
gonna-
that, and I'm happy to be wrong, but there was a couple of visual callbacks with the lightsaber down at an angle in front of the kids, and it was exactly the same frame shot as Anakin and Saws Bandim. Exactly.
Well, we got no real connect to any of that, did we? It was all just people who are in
Things
a
can happen,
same
Turbo.
universe, and things just happened. There was no real we didn't get a major reveal of a known character, or
We got a pirate ship going down today, just like in Mando, and he's just watching it from the window, just like in Mando. Things just happen.
And we can talk about it at the end, but I was kind of glad it didn't have a lot of references to everything else except for your mate Vane, Mohl. So it was fairly self-contained.
Looking back, like it's a weird that they even put him. You know what I mean? Like it really served no purpose apart from keeping Mohl happy.
I think it was just to introduce the concept of pirates, so to ease people into. So if you didn't have that Mando episode,
I feel like he was only in Mando for the purposes of, hey, Skeleton Crew's going to have pirates in a few years'
I know,
time.
but like,
reckon
what?
because if it would have been too jarring, if you went from Mando with no pirates straight into this
to this pirate world.
Pirates in Star Wars
where the
makes
hell
sense.
did pirates come from?
Yeah, I
Oh, wait,
suppose.
we had some Mando pirates on Navarro.
Nest, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, cool. No worries. There's a bit of a pirate thing going on. Cool. I could buy that.
Yeah,
okay.
that was
Yarr!
So
Anyway.
and then Catherine, the X-wings show up, and not just the X-wings, the B-wings.
B-wings.
Love a good B-wing.
Yes.
B-wings with lasers.
But they've always had lasers, haven't they?
You never seen them in live action though, only in cartoons. In that one episode in the Sky Planet.
Well, they were cut from Return of the Jedi because the effects didn't work very well, which is why they're only in a few shots of Return of the Jedi. I think they were too thin, like the wings were too thin, and they went see-through or something. I don't know. I'm sure somebody knows more about that. Well, no, but that was cool to show up, and then they start cleaning house. So we get so it was the same pilot from the first episode, from the episode we saw X-Wings before. He was the first, and there was another lady after him who we hadn't seen, and then I think there was some sort of like creature, as far as the pirate.
Yeah,
He was like, is he like a slow-mo or something?
Yeah, he looked like the episode 7. I forget the character. The character name was L.O.R.S.T.
Oh, the Beastie
Yes.
Boys
The
reference one.
Beastie Boys character.
Yeah,
Hello, Nasty.
all of those,
Maybe that one's
creatures.
called, Will Remuneration or something like that.
Yeah, they were all Beastie Boys references.
I think it was him. But yeah, there was only 3 pilots we saw, I think.
Yep. I don't know who. I'm sure the lady who was there is probably somebody connected to something. I'm sure someone will find out who she is in due time. And then, the X-Wings turn up. The good guys turn up and they make short work of all those pirates. So, yeah, like we hinted before, I don't know. What do you reckon, Mohl? Do you reckon they all ate it, or are they just sort of... Like, they all started banding ship, and only Urkel's the only one who's like, hey, you guys...
At your posts.
Well,
Hey, you guys!
These guys have survived acid baths. KB survived ship crash. They're not gonna. You don't sign Urkel for 1 season. He's a 2-season man.
and it crashed into the water, so the flames will die out.
No one's ever gone. Even the Death Star makes a return.
Yeah, and and then they you sort of get this nice shot of Jod kind of realizing the jig is up, basically, and he sort of looks out the window, sees the ship going down, and kind of a wry smile at the end. Really, I think he's just like, man, I was so close.
I underestimated these children.
I nearly had.
I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
All those things, and then so there you go, Catherine. Jod lives, so they didn't kill off their major asset.
But it's interesting also that when the kids and their parents go to the turbo lift, Wim calls out to Jod, like as in, come on down from here. And it's still that, in a way, Wim wanting to see that there might be good in Jod.
There's no good in him. He's evil.
But this is the thing, like, he's in that story, you heard Jod saying, the galaxy is a dark place with just pinpricks of light, and it's just this awful world that Jod has lived in, and he's just looking for those pinpricks of light. And so Wim's wanting to, he doesn't want to see bad things happen to people.
Yeah, he still sort of believes. He still believes.
And he also said he didn't want to do damage to this wonderful planet. He wanted to keep it pristine and keep the.
He still want everyone to
credits
work for
rolling.
The credits flowing.
Keep
Get his ATM machine going.
I mean, and that's kind of we'll just sort of, and that's sort of the episode ends. Like the door kind of closes. Actually, that's not quite. So the door kind of, it's almost like the Last Jedi, where there's sort of Rey gets on the Falcon at the very end, and that her and Kylo kind of connect for that moment. She just sort of like closes the door, and it's like, all right, well, that's the end of that relationship kind of thing. But they do go back to the school, and thankfully KB is alive, and she sort of falls out the front of the ship and falls on the treasure, and the kids all have a very nice little group hug, and my kids were very relieved.
KB
says,
has the
"Did we
closest thing
win?"
to a Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, she's asked did we win.
Oh yeah.
My kids are a little shell-shocked from this episode. I've got the little review at the end, but I don't get much out of them. They're a bit just sort of like, they were sort of like happy, but they're sort of, I think it was a lot for them to take in. So I was trying to get answers out of them. So if you're, excuse me, hanging around for the kids review at the end, it's a little bit all over the shop. But anyway.
question.
And a happy I was going to say happy ending. Neil finds Snowball and probably takes him home as a pet.
The captain.
Yeah.
The captain.
Yeah,
Let's call him the captain. The Captain Snowball.
Still not disproved, Catherine.
Not disproved. And, when KB was up there flying the ship, Snowball was there running around, went on her head. Could be, but 33 also lives.
Yep.
So 33 can be repaired. Yep. Walking out with his head in his hand.
No, it was a nice little ending. And then it's sort of like, oh, well, I guess there's no assessment for you now, Win, since the...
Yay, homework's cancelled.
Yeah, homework's cancelled.
Why is there no assessment? I don't understand. Is that because he knows what he wants to be now? It's an X-Wing pilot?
School's kind of wrecked.
The great work's kind of redundant now as well.
Yeah, the great work is not so great anymore.
Oh.
Well, I guess the New Republic could take it over and start cranking out the credits again, but I don't know.
So it's interesting where we sort of leave it. I mean, that's the end of the show, and it's all, kids have a great adventure and the baddies are defeated and stuff, but it does sort of leave a lot of open stuff, as we sort of said. No, I mean, just for one, like just with Jude Law's character, I mean, you could literally start season 2 with we're in a pickle. We need, you can get out of jail if you help us out of this predicament for something that we know you can help us with, kind of thing. We'll let you out.
Could, just hypothetically. So yes, the kids know what he looks like, but could Jod slip out and then hide in the population? And so he's just pretending to be a normal Atten citizen until they need him in season 2.
I feel like he's not going to hang around, and I think he's just not going to hang around and wait for the Republic to. And the thing is also, I mean, there were
enslave him.
Well, there were a bunch of X-wings flying around, but it wasn't like they had boots on the ground yet. Well, the
Tantive 4 arrives.
So is that the Tantive 4? Is Leia on that ship?
No, that's just a nondescript Star Wars reference. The Carillion Corvette is the symbol of Republic hope. As
Leia hasn't just turned up.
New Republic hope.
New Republic. That's just a nice nondescript Star Wars reference from Johnny Watts.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think, it wasn't like at the end, like you said, Leia just walks off the end of the thing. But yeah, I mean, it's true, Catherine. He could just slip it. I think he could just easily slip the net. And,
I can't really see where the story could go next, though. I mean, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know where the story
There's no arc.
Could go, but there's definitely things that I'm still curious about and still wanting to know. Like, I'm wanting to know, okay, what were all the planets mints, or were they doing something else? Why were they hidden? How long ago was that? What are the parents told at graduation? What is it that they do? Is it just making money, or is it, what did they think when contact was severed? All of these things. And also, what happens now that the barrier's down, they've been revealed to the New Republic? What happens now? So I'm left sort of wanting to find out more. And yeah, you're right, that the captain, his face was concealed. Is there a plan there? Is there an idea there? How did the ship crash back down, and then what happened? Was that concealed by the droids or whatever? Like, what is?
Yeah, there's still a lot there.
Too many things.
I think you could obviously, like, you could pick up, where you left off, and if it is just kind of like word's gotten out that Atten's been discovered and it's full of treasure, what does that mean? Do a bunch of people all turn up, or does the Republic take control of the planet straight away, and the mint is done, or does the planet get integrated and the kids go off and do other things? Or I mean, who knows if they've got.
They interviewed John Watson Ford before the finale, and they sort of teased and explained where they are, and it's not going to be like Stranger Things where they pick up the next day and, as you put it, Last Jedi it.
Yep.
There'll be a 3 or 4 year time gap. They have something in mind, but it hasn't been greenlit.
Yep.
Plus, they also have with these kids. These kids are a aging time bomb basically. Like
Yeah, well, that's right. You've only got a few more years before they've grown up and stuff. So if you do a logical time, and this thing was also shot a few years ago as well, so you've actually already lost time than you normally would have, whether it had just been shot last year. But
Wim's 21 now.
Well, I've seen interviews, like recent ones, and the girls have definitely grown up quicker than the boys have as well. Like they sort of look like proper teenagers now. So
I'm going to put it out there. Fern is going to be this generation's Hermione Granger.
Oh, right. Wow.
As in the actress?
She's going to blossom into some very beautiful adult actress.
Oh, right. She's definitely a good actor. I'll give her that.
Very
So we'll keep it focused on the episode itself. We'll come back in a week or two and we'll talk about the show as a whole. But I think it was a really good finale. I think it was satisfying. It was exciting. It didn't answer everything, but I think it answered enough. Everybody got their comeuppance for the most part, but it still remained, apart from some scary bits, still pretty kid friendly.
That bit when Neil fell off the scooter, the hovercraft. But then he got up, and I was like, "Okay, sweet, you're right."
He's all right, mate. You come all this way to the end. You're not quite done yet. But what about you, Catherine? Any closing thoughts on this episode before we send it away? We'll do a series, like I said, later on, but let's keep it focused on the episode for now.
Yeah, you're right. The episode was fun. It moved along. I didn't walk away as satisfied or as happy as I have done from other episodes, but I think it was pretty good.
Turbo, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed the ending. It could have been a lot more, but I'm glad that they didn't go with anything too crazy or interconnected and, someone's related to someone else and Mando doesn't run in or anything.
Oh, it would have been so good if Mando were right.
No, I'm glad they kept it self-contained, but much like the planet itself.
Or Thrawn was watching from his Star Destroyer the whole time.
Oh, man. God, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I have to say.
That was a relief. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a relief more than anything.
The lack of connectedness to something else, 10 out of 10. Spectacular.
Yeah.
Or if Andor was watching from his binoculars, that would have been so good.
Well, I think the last couple of finale, the Acolyte finale had some big moments, but
I can't even remember what happened in that show.
It still didn't quite satisfy, I think, everybody. And the Ahsoka finale, the same, at least for me. But I think this one...
Stop hating on Ahsoka, dude.
I think this one had the best finale since Andor, as far as the shows go. But what about you, Mohl? How'd you feel?
It was good. Nice, lukewarm finish. It was, for a kid's show, it was good. It was. We're ready. Give us the adult show now. Andor. How many days to Andor, Catherine? Is it 106 or something?
I think we're under 100.
I'll be doing 98.
98. We're in 98. Double digits.
What? Oh my God. Well, that's a brilliant segue as we can sort of thank everybody for being on. Thank you everybody for listening. People have been listening and enjoying it. It's been good. And we've picked up sort of more listeners as we've gone along. And if you've come in late, go back and listen to the other ones. And we'll do the wrap. We'll do the show, the season wrap in a week or two. Hopefully we'll get Andy Bell, friend of the show, on, who couldn't make the last couple of episodes. But we love you, buddy. We hope you're hanging in there and doing well. But as far as things to plug, Catherine is dropping hot fire this afternoon. So just in time to plug.
Yeah, I finally put out an episode. Yes, so we're leading up to Andor. So I could do one episode a week. There's time, but that's a bit ambitious for me to do one episode a week. But yes, doing a rewatch of Andor, completely, spoiler, talking about the series as a whole. But so I've put out an episode covering that first arc with Sel from the Rogue Rebels.
Oh, Paralis, the man himself.
The Rogue Rebels.
Quinlan Voss himself.
Quinlan Voss himself.
Good dude. Yes. Is he doing the whole run, or is he just doing the first arc, or you don't know yet?
Yeah, don't know yet, but I've just covered the first arc. I think I'd like a few different people on to get different perspectives. And if I talk about an arc more than once, I'm not complaining.
I just assume you're watching Andor every day, Catherine. So it's nice. It's refreshing to hear you having a rewatch.
What a lead in. So everybody jump on that. Get onto that Geek Pod. Have a listen. Do your own Andor rewatches at home as we careen towards, well, not just Andor Season 2, but Celebration Japan. So that'll be where the pod will be sort of... Once we get through the Skeleton Crew stuff, we'll hopefully get a few guests on who are going to be at Celebration Japan. Hopefully. I've got one I think is going to be on. She's pretty keen to do it, so we'll be running towards that. Turbo, anything you want to drop? Anything you want to... No.
I got nothing. I just hover around different people's pods.
As
Thanks
needed.
for inviting me on, as always.
Well,
as
hopefully
needed.
you'll come on the recap in a week or two.
Yeah, for sure.
And Matty Mohl, what about you, buddy? Going up for a new fresh shirt? Aside from that,
No, I think this has dried sufficiently now. We hit the hour mark like we always do, and you're like clockwork wrapping things up.
as I do.
You're like Cinderella. You turn into a pumpkin after 1 hour.
You didn't get struck by lightning on the podcast as the only.
Did not die on the pod. Sorry to disappoint. Maybe next week.
Imagine the downloads. Anyway, great time, great show. Can't believe it's done for now. Hopefully it'll come back, and we'll
You're no Jedi.
We'll do the full season recap in a week or two. So it may not be a show next week. We'll see how organised we get. But thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Josh.
Any
Thank
final,
you, Turbo.
Josh.
And
Matthew makes everything better, Thurbon.
Thank you all.
Always. And SM33.
And thank you, Forrest.
SM33, you want to take us home? Get us out of here?
I don't recall no Atten.
Perfect. Bye.
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 Look, he's a Jedi now.
Okay. Who have I got here?
Tully.
And
Lord.
so did we just watch the last Skeleton Crew?
Yeah.
What did we think?
Good.
Was it a bit scary, this one? You're looking a bit scared. Oh, it was Jod being scary.
Little.
All right, proper answers, please.
Yeah.
So what did you think? All right in the end?
Yeah. Reasonable at the end.
Do you think it was good that Jod didn't die, or do you think they should have got him in the end?
I should have got him in the end.
So what's he going to do now? Is he going to go off and cause more trouble?
Probably. Actually, no. They'll just trap him.
You don't think he'll just run off and hide?
Nope. Well, I mean, if he can. But they'll find... Actually, he'll try. He'll probably try. He'll probably try, but they would find him.
So what do you think? Was it? You got a bit worried for KB, Sloaney, when she crashed the ship?
Yeah.
You glad she was all right?
Yeah.
Anything else, Olive, you want to say about it?
Not really.
What do you think of the show in general?
Good.
You seem to like the bit where we're on the bikes.
Yeah. Yes. I liked it because they were like speeding in the air.
Yeah.
They were like speeding.
Okay, you guys aren't really giving me very great answers here, but is there anything else you want to say about this before we finish it?
No. I really hope they make another season of when they're adults.
Oh, really? You don't just do another one, pick it up next year when they're kids still?
Yes, I want it because then we could see. As long as it's not about pirates again.
Okay.
No, it couldn't be about them because they died. Some died, you mean?
Right, okay. Well, I guess we'll see. So say bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.